Well, good morning, everybody. It's Yankee Wally here. It's Monday, the 24th of March at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm ever so sorry I've been away a little while. It's nothing serious. It's a bit embarrassing, actually. And I it's nothing wrong with my health or anything, just something that really set me back a little bit and put me off kilter, so to speak. Plus, on top of that, in my kitchen, my worktop is just chock-a-block with jars and this. Rudy Bell, a subscriber, sent me a beautiful air fryer, and as my cookers broke, it would be perfect for me to cook things in. She sent me a CD player as well, but I haven't opened them from the boxes because my flat is so stinking dirty that it wouldn't do them justice. And besides, I haven't got room on my until I get rid of all that stuff. So anyway, there I was the other night, in the kitchen, and I knocked a great big glass bottle of soy sauce, the dark one, off the counter, straight onto my left foot. Oh, good God alive, that was painful. And so I had to mop all that up, which left me with quite a clean kitchen floor. That's how it gets done. And I had to clean all the glass up and everything. But well, I tell you the truth. I tell you what happened to me last week. I got extremely constipated, and only 3 times it's happened in my life that it's been this bad. You don't know it's bad at the time until the days go on, and it so. I have always got a medicine cupboard or a drawer in a cupboard with everything that I could. I got cold sore cream, I've got antibiotic cream, I've got steroid cream, I've got laxatives in tablet form, in powder form to mix with water. Then I've got that fibogel stuff as well. So I got 3 lots. Well, I ploughed through the tablets, and then I started going through the Laxido stuff, the powder, and I was just so blocked up. I couldn't sleep because I take them last thing at night. You're supposed to, and then I was scared that's I'd have to go in the middle of the night. So I was all over the place with it, and I remember the other time that I got into that sort of a mess was I went for a meal with a male friend of mine. We went to the Indian restaurant, the Kismet, down on City Road. And I was eating this Indian meal, and I wanted to go to the loo. And I was all out of sync, I was. And I was in such a mess. Not from the runs or anything. I was just blocked, totally blocked. And it was like a tennis ball. And I was sat on this toilet, and by the time I got out of there, the restaurant had closed, and all the staff was standing with their coats on by the door. Nobody had said anything. I must have been in there for an hour and a half, and I was still bunged up. That was a bad one, that was, because the bloke that I went with, he paid the bill and he'd gone. I was just here on my own. And I didn't know what to say to the staff either. But, it all ended well. It's just, I don't like being constipated. I just don't like it. And it got so bad earlier on last week that I couldn't get any more food in. I couldn't eat because I was just so bunged up. But I'm all right now. Everything's okay now. But it's very hard to gauge laxatives. You take 2, and then the next day, all day, nothing. So take another 2, and then when mine finally worked, which was after about day 8, I think, it keeps on working. So it's just an awkward situation to be in. And I know why it was. It was because I took too much codeine because of my foot was aching where I dropped the soy sauce on it. And so I had to trim my toenails as well the other day. And I don't know if anybody else could, I don't know whether this is just me, but my toenails now are so thick. They didn't used to be thick. They kind of, Well, I can't use a nail scissors on them. I have this clippers that I use, but it's almost like pruning. You need a set of chewers, you know. Does everybody else have thick toenails? I'm not saying they look all right. They look fine. And I don't, in fact, I'll go as far as to say, and I'm not being boastful, but I've got a very pretty foot. Not the other one, just my left one is pretty, but my right one, I think, is the bigger foot of the two. Because if I buy a pair of shoes in my size, which is a 7, my left foot has got plenty of room, but my right foot has always been a bit bunched up in the shoe. So subsequently, I've got like hammer toes. Not hammer toes, just bunched up toes. They're not as clawed, a bit clawed. But I haven't got any bunions or anything like that because my grandmother always made sure that we had our feet measured. We only had 2 pairs of shoes a year, me and my sister, and then we'd have them for Sunday school first, and then when our school shoes wore out, we'd have the Sunday school ones for school and a new pair for Sunday school. So, but we always had, I had very wide feet, so I'd always have the wide fit. So my feet are nothing like Meghan Markle's. And I notice now that her bunions are growing back again. That's because she's not looking after her feet, you see. You shouldn't wear shoes that are too narrow. Modern shoes today don't do your feet any good at all. Anyway, back to the subject of Meghan. These are her products that as yet have not even been put out for sale. She's such an idiot. And I'll tell you something else too. I think that she knows deep down in her heart that she's completely blew it. But being the self-centered, wonderful woman that she can't admit it. And that's where her bitterness is coming from, and this spitefulness. And because she knows her Netflix, as ever, Cook with Love, they're confusing because they're 2 names that are very similar. She has now pushed Harry, because I don't think Harry would do this of his own volition. She's pushed Harry to offer Netflix a documentary on his mother on her 30th anniversary of her death. And that's why Netflix are keeping Meghan sweet. What do you make of that? Do you think that's feasible? I do. So she's going to ride on the tailgates of tail of Harry again, and he's going to do it. And apparently I heard that the royal family were rather pleased and hoped that her cooking show would be a success, and that would stop her looking for other ways, like the book deal and things that she's been talking. She knows which buttons to push with the royal family. She'll be riding them for money for the rest of her life, with no shame at all. But deep down, you see, she knows that she's nothing to what she was when she first married Harry. She's lost all the adoration. She's the object of ridicule now. And she's pretty much backed herself into a corner. And as far as the lies go, it all started at the wedding. Well, I mean, her mother, she's streetwise. She's don't give the milk away for free, weed smoking, ex-con. Not that I'm moaning about that, as you know, I've done time myself. But she could easily tell her mother, don't do this, don't say that, don't say anything, just don't speak. But her father, he's more of a upfront, honest type of a guy. Did you know that her nephews on her brother's side, Tom Jr.'s got 2 sons, and their mother's called Tracy. I've got a picture of them coming over from America and landing at Heathrow Airport, ready for Meghan's wedding. And they were going to give a running commentary, and for some reason Meghan got them sent back. As I said, she can't afford to have any of her family around the royals, or even Harry. And it's gone on so long now that it's going to continue, because she was telling lies all the time. She's lied right from the beginning, and now all her lies, everybody knows she tells lies, but she can't stop, because she's built a new image of herself. People think she's like a little posh snob. She's the exact opposite. Absolutely nothing about her is anything to be proud of. And you know, when she was on about that advertisement about the dish soap, and how the boys said, oh, that's where the girls belong, in the kitchen. I was thinking, she went to an all-girls school, didn't she? Didn't she? When she was, what was it, the Sacred Heart or the Immaculate Heart? And that was her grown-up school. The one before it was the Little Red Schoolhouse, so that must be a junior school. And then she went to the Immaculate Heart. Now, that was an all-girls school. So how could the boys be saying that's where girls belong or women belong, in the kitchen? And what sort of boys would say that? Young boys of that age. Not that, I don't know. So many different stories, so many lies. And she's become a laughing stock now. Hold on a second, hold on. Anyway, going back to, excuse me, Meghan's offerings. If you notice here, now I'm going to challenge her, and I'm going to say she is not making any of these products. She hasn't got a bee, what they call it? Hang on, I'll think of it now. Not an aviary, where the bees are kept anyway, a bee. She hasn't got one of those. She doesn't even look after her own chickens, I don't think. But she likes to let everybody think like that she's this woman that's a feminist that just stays home and cooks. She can't even cook. We've seen that. I mean, who on God thinks that the starch in pasta makes a creamy sauce? That's the most bizarre thing I've ever heard, because you're supposed to get rid of the starch, because that's nothing but starch. It's not creamy tasting. She's off her rocker. But anyway, look, no, she can't make tea. She can't. So she must be buying these things in bulk. She's buying them in bulk. So that little pot of jam, the raspberry spread, now it's only 7.6 ounces, so it's under £0.5. And normally jars of jam come in pound ones, and they're pretty cheap. But I've looked, and I've actually found, here we go. This is a good quality one. This is off Amazon. £30 for 3 kilos. Now, 3 kilos is £6.6. £6.6. Because a kilo's £2.2. £6.6. That should make her 12, 13, 15 jars of jam. And that's a good quality jam, Tipped Tree is. So she can make 15, she can fill 15 jam jars with that jam. That's the raspberry seedless conserve. And with raspberries, well, if she's making it, she better get the pips out, because not a lot of people like pips. She can fill all those jars for £2 a jar. Around about $2.50 a jar, with good jam from Britain, right? This is a cheap one. Now this one is, I didn't get the price on that one, but that's a cheap one. Strawberry. That's raspberry seedless. Oh, that's £23.99 here. Cheaper. 3 kilos, £6.6 for 24 quid. Raspberry no, that's not conserve. That's the conserve. That's 70. Lots of fruit. This one's 70. Oh, this is a cheap one. Get £3 off as well. You know, the sort of cheap ones. That's all about fruit spreads. So she can get in bulk, or she can even buy her own raspberries. She can buy all those for £12 if you go to the farm. So she can very, very easily buy the empty jars, get her own labels, and put this into the jars. And all those Sussex squad will be all ripped off and be really happy about it. That's good for them, because I wouldn't buy Meghan's jam. I wouldn't know where it's come from. She's going to have to, because it's food, she's going to have to state the ingredients and where the produce is from as well, which country. So maybe she's going to get found out there because she might be trying to import French jam or something. I don't know. But I don't think she's going to be very lucky with this. I don't, because by her cooking standards, I don't think that anybody trusts her with any type of food. I've seen her mash avocados. That's about the only thing I could trust her with. She's not a good cook. I'm not a good cook. But compared to her, bloody hell, I'm Anthony Bourdain. Right, that's the end of that one. So much. Yeah, and here she is. I mean, she's gonna be buying these in 12 sachets in these tins. 12. That'll make you 12 cups of tea. And I bet you she's going to charge a lot of money. French style crepe mix. Oh, and she's written on that with her own handwriting. Oh, talking about handwriting. Oh. Wait there. Let's talk about... I'll come back to that. There's something about her handwriting that is scary. Now, do you remember when Doria had... Loving Care, it was called. If anybody knows how to look up a business in America, Loving Care, it was called. A home for the elderly, a residential home for the elderly. Well, she's supposed to have bought one of those and started up a business. But nobody's heard anything about it, have they? And then I read this, I don't know where I got this from, but could it be that it's a data mining operation masquerading as a business? Loving Care. Did I say Loving Care? Yeah. What if, and this is only my thoughts now, this is because I'm thinking like a scam artist. What if Meghan Markle's mother was now running a bot farm? Right? Just like Ian Sexton runs the bot farm. You know Ian Sexton. Ian Sexton on X, he runs a bot farm. He doesn't like anyone mentioning that, but it's true. Now, what if Doria ran a bot farm? It's not legal, but, well, I don't know how they would do it, but it wouldn't surprise me. And I think when Meghan married Harry, Doria was given, I don't know where I'm getting the figure 9 million from, but it was a few million she got just to keep her quiet, you know. I wonder what weedhead Doria was doing all those years when she went AWOL. Avoiding paying taxes, evicted for not paying her rent, drug dealer, whatever Doria Raglan has on her past, she's definitely crooked, just like her daughter. And that's what I'm thinking. I know that a lot of us here have done things in our life that we wouldn't offer up the information just like any old how, but we do know what we've done, that maybe if you had your life again all over, maybe you would do it, maybe you wouldn't do it, but maybe it's not that bad. But Meghan has got a lot in her past. I mean, that's how the lies all started. She had to cover up it. She must have had a terrible past to have to cover it up to the point where she had to disown her sister, disown her brother. Oh, do you remember when her brother wrote that letter to Prince Harry before they got married? Let me see if I can find that for you now. I got a load of stuff here. Loads of it. Right there. Royal family. Doria. Look at Prince Philip. Oh my, this is a fake picture. And I don't think the Queen ever met Lilibet. I think if she had it, the picture would be everywhere. The Markle family tree. Dorito, bankruptcy expert. Papa Markle, ghosted Paps expert. Archie, a beautiful little kitten. That's Darlene Blount. That's the girlfriend that he had when Meghan first married Harry. There's Sam, Twitter expert. That's Tom Jr.'s son. He's got 2 sons, and he was married to a girl called Tracy. That's from Meghan Markle. Oh dear God. Oh, and did you know that Doria used to do courses in coursehorse.com, and she'd tell people how to make jewellery design and multi-strand at Santa Monica College. She's the instructor, pearl knotting. And there's all Prince Harry's ex-girlfriends, Emma Watson, and there's Meghan's past relationships. She had a few: Simon Rex, Sean Zakin, Brett Ryland, Steve Lepore, Louis Segura, Joshua Silverstein. First kiss, oh God. Anyway, marriage register. Thomas Markle married Doria Raglan. Age, she was 23 when he was 35. They got married. Oh, I don't know, it's all there. I don't know why I'm even looking at it. I'm trying to look for the letters. Wait there, got it now. Family. letters, I think. Here it is. Got loads of her writing here. Here they are. Do you remember August 2018 when she set her father up by sending him that letter, and he revealed it to the Daily Mail because she got her friends to talk about it in the People, and it went to court, and we were hoping that her 5 friends would be made to give evidence, and she won the case. She had a summary judgment, won the case. Oh, terrible. Here we are. This was on the 26th of the 4th. Dear Prince Harry, it's not too late. Meghan Markle. Oh, I must have a better copy here somewhere. He sent her, altogether, 2 or 3 letters. Meghan is still my sister. She is family. What did he call her? A bitter, jaded, shallow woman. Something like that. All the best, Meghan. She doesn't say that anymore. She says, as ever. Oh, dear me. That's off Samantha to her. Yeah, they sent Christmas cards. I love you, Larry King. Oh, good God. What the... You are so strong. This is that girl, Michelle. Remember that girl that was suffering from shyness in school or something? There she is. How this Meghan's encouraging letter to shy classmate inspired her 20 years ago. Never stop remembering how special you are. I love you, Meghan. I don't believe it for a minute. That girl, Meghan plants things, doesn't she? She asks people to do these sort of things for her. Yeah, she does some wicked stuff. Anyway, last week while I was suffering a bit with your constipation, I decided to get involved in a bit of politics. Now, I don't want to talk about politics on this channel because it's just not fair on you. But we are in a bit of a state over here in the UK. Most of you will know about it. It's pretty awful, actually, and I'm hoping that we had a party, a new party that had formed called Reform. And we were pinning our hopes because they said that they were going to get rid of the illegal immigrants, just the ones, you know, that have done the wrong thing and come in here illegally. And all of a sudden, the head of the Reform Party changed his tune. He said he's not going to get rid of them. And he said by 2050, there'll be more Islam here than there will be Brits. And he's saying all this, and I'm thinking, how can you say that now in public after you've given us the aid? And everything just fell apart. I don't understand why he said it, you know. If he's going to lie till you're in power. But of course, it's 3.5 years before our next election, so I guess he was suck it and see how we take it. But it was all different. He'd let us down. Meanwhile, another member of the Reform Party was talking our language, or my language, you know, deport, deport, deport. And his name is Rupert Lowe. So I've got another X account that I use for politics so that I don't confuse anybody. And all I'm trying to do is put Britain right by what I call my standards, I suppose. Well, so we all do that when we vote. You vote for what's best for you and your family. You don't much care about whether they put a great big high-speed train going up through the middle of the country. It wouldn't affect me, but that's where a lot of money will be going, or has been going, in our country. But, you know, we all vote for what we want, what will do us the most. It's not being selfish, it's looking after your own, you know. That's what you do, that's your vote. You've got to do it as you. No, don't take any notice. Some people, you know, Joe Biden might have given them what they wanted, and so on. But anyway, I was doing a lot of tweeting for the politics, and I felt quite good after I'd finished doing it. Wait a second now. Let me. I'm going to show you this now. Another thing I think you should know is that there's. Do you remember I told you that Ian Sexton runs the bot farm? I was so obsessed about the Sussex squad having all these people with no followers or hardly any followers, hardly following anyone, just coming out with a boost, and they wouldn't reply to you. And I thought, they are bots. They are bots. So, and then some of them, they even named one of them after my own daughter. There, look. Carys Lyons. She's not Lyons anymore. And she was insulting me as my own daughter. And that kind of gives you a nasty feeling, because it doesn't feel right, you know. But anyway, the abuse, all the ones in yellow are pretty bad. Look at that. Sadie, if the police come recently to hook up security net cord and remote, how did it get so filthy? Oh, I was just showing them. I don't even have that anymore. They wanted me to pay for it. I think it was £6 a month. I said, no, it's okay. I didn't bother, so they took it out. There we are, coconut boombox. I've been suspended. Everybody, they were horrible to me. And, well, let's look at the dates on them. 2019. Red Soul fan, she was the evil one. She was And if you look at all of these now, wait there, we're going to go here. There's so many. And if you look for them now, they're not there. They're all gone. So many of them. This is one that I thought was her mother, Dee Dee Hines. She worked for Dee Dee something. Doria, look, I've labelled it Doria. And look how many there were. All of these now are all insults, abuse. We don't get as much. And look how many are here. Look, I started putting 3 or 4, 6 on a page. Look how many. All those. Yeah. There's more. Of course there's more. Here they all are here. It's another load. Or maybe that's the same one. So many. So many. And I got to know them, and I look how many. I'd love to get to the bottom of this. I really would. And find out who they all were, because they're everywhere. I used to call them foot soldiers, leaders, bosses. And so many times I used to look for clues as to who it was. Oh, there's one of them, Southern Girl 2016. I don't. She doesn't look unlike me. I got to tell you as well. I was. What was I doing? I was looking at my face. I don't very often look at my face. I don't have any mirrors here. Not one in the bathroom. I don't need to. There's one in the bedroom, but I don't bother going in there much. But I had a shiny candle lid, and I took the lid and I looked at my face. I thought, what the hell? My face has gone like the man in the moon. Really, really, my cheeks have puffed right up. I thought, what the hell? And I realised it's those steroids the doctor put me on. That's what it's they've gone and puffed me up. I haven't got that crease between my nose and the corner of my mouth. It's like, no, I'm definitely... How long does it take for it to go back down again? I'm not taking them anymore. She's got nice eyes though, hasn't she? She could do with a bit of waxing on her eyebrows. And what else? She got a nice necklace on. She could do with a facial scrub, I think. But, you know, she got the basics of a decent face there. Not ugly. Right, let's have a look now. Where was I? Going down here, wasn't I? Oh, this is all... Look at it all. Look at them all. Coconut boombox. I wonder what happened to her. I was driving myself mad. Look, I was convinced that Monroe, Red Soul fan, was Amal Clooney, because this was around the time of her baby shower. Look at this. Crack, they're all on crack. Jessica Mulroney, leader of the bots. Yeah, I was going mental, to be honest. Trying to find out. How to find out if people have paid on Twitter and Instagram for followers. There's more to this. Here we are, look, by likes, by retweets, by followers. 500 Twitter followers for $12. 500. 100 Twitter likes for $4. And I couldn't, she was a nasty one. Emma Wicks Emma. Wonder where she is now. There's some crazy, look how many I got. And they all had their header and their little profile thing all made with the same artwork. And I was thinking that Red Soul fan was making them for everybody else. As the years have gone on and I've realised what a load of frauds they are, I think Red Soul fan was running maybe 200 accounts, and they all had the same, the same, where am I now? Let's have a little look. They all had the same cartoony look. That's one of them, look. They were all over the place. There's another one. And if ever you copied a tweet off them, they'd have you for copyright infringement. There's more there. French ones. Yep. Oh, so... I tell you what, there we are, there's another one, look. I think these were all made by the same person, so that the people running these accounts were probably all the same person. John T., he hated Samantha. I was collecting these thinking, one day I'll be able to find out, or something will happen, and I'll find out who they all are. There's thousands. So if anybody ever wants the names of all the bots that were running. I think I've got nearly all of them. I really do. Of course, there's some are doubled up here because I'm screenshooting tweets as well as names. Black Aristo, he was a nasty one. And they're the ones that took me down off YouTube as well. So, there's a lot of them around, you see. Oh, God, yeah. She was nasty too. You were a prostitute, a brothel madam, spent time in jail, and basically sex-trafficked women for your own profit. And then copied in South Wales Police. This woman needs to be charged with inciting hate crime. I was never a prostitute, not that it matters. I'm not because I can't say a bad word about those girls. They worked hard. She was a vile cretin. I'm a 63-year-old Welsh prostitute from Glamorgan. Oh, dear God. The Dooleys, that's right. That was Thomas Markle Jr.'s ex-wife. So his kids are called Dooleys. Oh, dear me. Black Widow, she was nasty as well. Oh, and I sent a court case, this was done by me, to Red Soul Fan, I think it was, Strong Right, or one of them. Oh, I don't know, there was so much going on. He was nasty as well, Michael Lewis. Look at that. Someone should steal Samantha Markle's wheelchair and let's see how she fares. In matter of fact, someone should call the IRS on that BITCH. He was a nasty. In fact, let's be honest, they all were. She was horrible. Night projection. There are a few prostitutes in that one, in that group. I gotta be honest, if I had been a prostitute, I'd be proud to tell you, because you know, you've got to have a certain something about you, personality, looks, figure, and you know, it takes quite a bit to be one of those, I think. I don't think looks matter so much as personality. Anyway, let's get back on my where I am now. Pictures. Oh, screenshots. There we go. Right, I come across it actually. There's Lilibet's birth certificate. And here on her birth certificate is Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor on her birth certificate. So when Meghan, you know, I told her, she squeaks it like a mouse. It's funny when you always say that. Did you know I'm Meghan Sussex? Well, she's not. Lily is definitely a Mountbatten Windsor, and so is Archie. Here he is, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. And if you look at the bottom line, this is where Harry should sign it. You can see just the two prongs of an H. That's as far as the photocopy went. That's, you know, screenshot. He typed, it was typed, it wasn't signed. This birth certificate was not signed. And this one, I don't think it was signed either, because they've redacted the name of the birth clerk, and I don't know what's on the second black line, and I don't know what's on the bottom black line. But it's a certified copy. But it doesn't state the mother. No, it wouldn't, would it? She's mad. Anyway, let's talk about this. Oh, and this is something I put up last night on Twitter. These are dated from either 2017 or 2018. I know they don't look that important, but what it is a load of hotels in America, Quality Inn and Country Inn and Days Inn, have obviously used Meghan for some advertising Days Inn and all that. You see Hyatt, Super 8, all your hotels. And it's travelandleisure.com. Meghan Markle has a genius £9 packing secret. So it's one of those things, you know. So Meghan would have been paid for this, wouldn't she? So that says that she was merchant. She was already on the grab. The year she got married to Harry, maybe the year before, she was already grifting and hustling for money. And that picture was taken when they were on stage and they called themselves the Fab Four. So it would be around about that time that she was actually, and I put those up in a tweet because as far as I know, nobody else noticed those when they were on Twitter, they were. Oh, this is from Paula Mananovic, an ex-Latino employee interviewed by Paula, and those are the comments that she, or those were the things that she told to Paula. And one of them is Harry and Doria smoke a lot of weed. Isn't that terrible? I'm not a weed smoker. I don't like this stuff. It doesn't suit me. But I do like a Valium, you know, but again, I'm not a weed smoker, but you wouldn't want to be a weed smoker around children, would you? That's not very good for the kids, is it? Oh, well, it's their business, I suppose. Right, where am I now? This is it. That's Ian Sexton. Look at this. This is a tweet from like 40 over 40. That must be when she was 40. Well, that got off to a fast start. Thank you to so many of you for connecting. I made the offer because Meghan had suggested sharing our networks. I've ended up enriching mine with so many wonderful people. You guys rock. So he is in touch with Meghan. I Sexton. Oh, that's my cat when he was a little kitten. I found that today. Right, here we are. This is the one from Sassy Cassie on X. Please read about the Felon's Claw. It's part of Meghan Markle's writing, and it's scary. Graphology is called, studying handwriting. And you can go to the website. But the Felon's Claw is one of the most delectable characteristics. It's found in the writing of almost 80% of convicted criminals. When you transition from a straight... Oh, that's telling you how to do it. Let me show you now, because they'll give you examples. There we go. And I didn't put those little arrows on. They were already on there, but they're showing you examples. And where have you seen that before? See? A Happy Holidays from Anna's Disc or something. And that one there. What is a felon's claw? Felon, sorry. And there's an example there. The felon's claw. It's the little arty-farty little things. These people cannot be trusted at all. They never tell the truth. Well, I'm not one to believe, you know, psychics and God knows what, but if it suits what I'm looking for, yeah, I believe it. I think this is true. Yes, I know it's true. She's a felon. Now, guess whose handwriting that is? Yes. That's from... Do you remember I told you they found out who Jack the Ripper was? It was Kosminski, wasn't it? From Polish man. That's his handwriting. And he's saying, I send you half the kidney I took from one woman. And then it's something, cut it into pieces, fried it and ate it. It was very nice. I may... Oh, something anyway. And it's written in red ink, isn't it? Sorry, sir, Mr. Sir. Call me when you can. Catch me when you can. And then he's just signed it. Oh, what a horror. Yeah, no, this is going by... that dishwashing story... She's come up with a few new ones now. She's got one, Little Orbit Donut Shop. She worked there. And she also worked in Humphrey Yogurt, a yogurt shop. And she's also babysat for not one, but two Irish families when she was paying her way through college, which Sam went mad at and said her father paid. I know he did. Now, I've got her, what do you call it now? His CV. She had one CV where she's put the name on the top, the address as Buckingham Palace. I must find that for you and show it you. Confessions of a Money Launderer. This is from, what's her name now? It's on X at Queen of Mimi's 80. Confessions of a Serial Failure. Lemonada's Bimbo. Confessions of a Grifter. Yacht Girl. How I Found a Weak Beta Prince. Confessions of a Social Climbing Alcoholic. That's from Queen of Mimi's. I think you call it memes. 80 on X if you want to follow her. She is hilarious. Oh yeah, this is something, I don't know if this is true, but I wouldn't... See, now Diana has died. They can say anything, can't they? And Prince Harry apparently has just dropped a bombshell revelation, a hidden letter from Princess Diana written weeks before her tragic death has surfaced, exposing her deepest fears and suspicions. Now, I do, that this letter that this person is talking about is the one where she says that feels like she's going to have a car accident. And she did write that. She wrote it to somebody and it was found, and she said something about a car accident, which was absolutely stunning, her perceptions, I know. But I think that that's what they're referring to. But I was thinking afterwards, what if Harry now, because Meghan hasn't made much of a go of it, and even though they're having their second series of this With Love Meghan, incidentally, and this is the gospel truth, I actually could not watch it. I went back at it, and I finally managed to watch each episode until I knew who her guests were. And that was it. I didn't see it all the way through. I couldn't. It was... And again, the way she talks down to people, the way she treats people, her sense of entitlement. And of course, the only reason she is able to do this is because she is living a lie. She is in the land of make-believe right now. Do you know when you dress up and she's acting the best role of her life, and she really is in cloud cuckoo land, because even if you find out on her lies, she'll just come out with another one, because as we already found out with Prince Harry's visa, it all came to us in the end, and it was so heavily redacted. My God, you've never seen anything like it. I've got it here somewhere. It was just black lines. Oh, that was the one. Now this is the woman who says, Meghan says, I beg your pardon, delivered her baby. And the woman's husband, whose name was Lord Blandford, he's a lord, and her name's Penelope. There we are. There's Harry's signature there, and I've got it there. There it is. It was typed. And the other ones, that's Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis there. And William signed all three of them. And the Deputy Registrar signed them. Now that Deputy Registrar there, D. Mavada, that's what is on the blank one, the sample online. If you look for a blank sample of a British birth certificate, you'll see it's been signed by Mavada. So they've used a blank one. That's what they've done. That's why there's no signature. There's more and more evidence coming out. But this lady, Penelope Blandford, I suppose her name is, her husband, Lord Blandford, put a post on Facebook. I'm not good on Facebook, but I did see it, a screenshot of it. He said, my wife did not deliver Prince Archie. She did not. She did not. She may have delivered the surrogate's baby, but that would have been born a completely different way. They obviously weren't happy with the British way of doing it because they had to adopt them in UK, whereas in America they can be. It's a bit looser, but she didn't. This woman, she may have delivered a baby that turned into Archie, but she just delivered a baby to somebody else. That's a surrogate for you, you know? She's desperate to hang on to those titles and line of succession. That's what she's desperate for. And she's not going to get it anyway. I'm up to 50 minutes now. Thank you for staying with me. Oh, God. Message to the Windsors. Archwell, England. Do not negotiate with terrorists and blackmailers. What's this one? Oh, that's their wedding certificate. Yeah, you know she's... Look how similar their faces are there. That's unbelievable. That's her there. Just make sure I'm... Oh, let me see now. What's that? Resting doll face. I think she's got a YouTube channel now. Oh, there's Graham. God love him. I still miss Graham. I'm no good when people pass away. I'm just no good. As I get older as well, I find it... I can remember when I was very young, say about 11, I can remember, maybe 20 actually, I can remember thinking, nobody in my family has died. Nobody, I'm not lost anyone. And then I went to live in Australia and I went all around the place and I felt very safe knowing that my family would be there when I got back and I wasn't worried about them dying. So I spent 3 years in Australia and a couple of years, 3 years in America. And if I had known that it was going to happen, like bang, 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 dying, I think I would have been more thoughtful about leaving my family. I certainly wouldn't have left them now. And as you get older, you treasure your family more. I don't think I'd be able to cope if I was married and somebody, like my husband, I should say, died. That I don't think I could bear that. I know it's a terrible way to be, isn't it? But in a way, I used to say no. I'm happy on my own. But as I'm getting older, I'm starting to think, oh my God, what if I die here? Now I'm not worried about dying. That's okay, but I don't want to smell. And I don't want to be left here for a week. I don't want my cat to go hungry. But I do leave the patio doors open. But I don't want people to smell me before they see me. You know, that'd be embarrassing. So, in a way, it's nice to know that if anything happens, like, and you get ill or somebody's there to help you. We're a bit like swans, aren't we? You know, you're supposed to mate for life and stay together. But I don't know how... I don't know how to live with anybody, and that's a terrible situation. Terrible. I've been on my own all my life, apart from a brief 3-year marriage, and a couple of living with people, but not for long, because, and only 2, because of my daughter, you know. But that was when she was at boarding school. So, no, I haven't lived with anybody for a long time. But and I don't think it's ever going to happen now. It wouldn't happen now because there's another set of problems when you get older, isn't it? And it's if I marry somebody, I lose my pension for a single person, which is more than if you're a married couple. I mean, it's more pro rata. You know, like you get your pension, the man, I get mine as the woman. But if you get married, you get a married person's pension, and it's never as much as 2 single people. Plus, I'd lose my house. I'd have to live with him. And what if it didn't work out? Oh, God, I couldn't bloody do that again. No, I just know. So what are we thinking now about Megan's jam? Let me see. I haven't got anything else now, I don't think. I think I've finished. Oh, I got so much stuff in here. letters. I got Oh, I actually got a file on Megan's feet. Yes. Look when she had Do you see that bunion scar there? There. She had both her bunions. Or maybe she didn't get the right one done. I see a little bulge there. But, yeah, we bloody well paid for that. Because look what her feet were like before. Wait, there's a worse one. I got a worse one here. See? Nasty. There's no excuse for bunions. But if you keep on wearing shoes like these, where, I mean, your foot can hardly fit in there. And look at a bunion sticking out there. Ooh. I mean, I'm not being nasty. Oh, good God. Sometimes shoes just don't fit right. Oh, no. If you've got bunions, you don't expect a little shoelace to hold it in, do you? Ripped jeans. She must have permanently cold knees. Oh, look. Louis Vuitton bag. Ooh. Oh, my God. Dear me. She honestly, for somebody that's got bunions, she needs far more stouter shoes. She needs stout shoes to hold them in. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye now. I'll go on forever. It's 4:15 in the morning. I just can't seem to get my sleep right at the moment. It's ever since that constipation, you know, it just affects. When you get older, it's little things that mean a lot, don't they? You know, you don't want anything to go. Every time I wake up in the morning, I check my knees. I think, oh, my knees are, some days, especially in the summer, I wake up and my hips and my knees, they're great. They're like I was 16 again. But this has been a bitterly cold winter, I think, for everybody. Climate change, my ass. And honestly, I remember, what was his name? Professor Brian Cox, that's him, dark-haired bloke. He said, and he's right, he said, don't worry about saving the planet. Humans will be gone long before the planet. The planet will recover and regroup and regrow while the people on it have all killed themselves with their toxic fumes and God knows what. And I think he's right. We'll have killed ourselves with bombs and arguments and stupid stuff like that. Makes me just want to... I really could go... I mean, I could get out of Cardiff in a heartbeat. Wales is beautiful. It is a beautiful place. Nothing wrong with it. But you know, somebody put a video up on YouTube today, and I looked at it because the title was Cwmbran. That's Cwmbran. Cwm means valley, and Bran is crow in Welsh. So it's Valley of the Crows. And I looked at this video because I've left Cwmbran in 2003, but I was there, more or less. I was, well, not born there, but I moved there at 5 years old. And apart from my stints abroad and London with Mars, now I regard Cwmbran as my home. Well, anyway, there I was looking at it. And I thought, well, actually, the guy doing the video said, where's the drug pushers? You know, where's the people with the drugs? Because you always got a bad area. You know what it's like Kensington in America. Well, we got places like that in Cardiff. Of course we have. There's drugs everywhere now. And I noticed, I knew where they would be. They'd be in the Moonraker pub or the other pub by the bus stop. But I didn't say anything in the comments because I didn't want him to think I knew. But that's where they'd go. But then I noticed there's no pubs in the town. No pubs in the actual shopping area of Cwmbran. And more so, I could not see one immigrant. Not one migrant. I can remember I didn't see my first black woman until I was, I was getting the bus from the county. I was 11, maybe 12. And I saw my first black woman in Cwmbran. Her name was Mrs. Brown, and she had about 4 or 5 children, but she was the only black woman in Cwmbran. And she was ever such a nice woman. And her name was Mrs. Brown, and then they were going to throw her out because I think she was one of the Windrush women. And everyone in Cwmbran signed a petition to keep her, and she stayed. And but there's hardly any black people in Cwmbran still, and yet I don't understand why. And you can see the video. I think his name is Nothing Lost, Nothing Gained. I think it's called something like that, and his name is Billy. And the video, which is just Cwmbran on the front of it. But that was my town. It's pedestrianised, no traffic at all in the town. You can walk, or you can hire mobility scooters if you are in a wheelchair. We've got a community. I used to work for them. I used to work on the dialer ride van, and everyone used to laugh at the van because it was a van that you could take a wheelchair in, like a Pope mobile, with the Pope travelling in, like a big glass thing. And of course, it said dialer ride on the side of it. God, it was embarrassing, really, but I used to love my job. And you go in there and leave your wheelchair and pick up a motorised scooter, electric scooter, and off you go. And Brian, the boss in there, because I used to do the driving of the vans, if some of the old people that came in were snappy or nasty, or he just didn't like them, he'd give them the scooters that sort of had a sticky accelerator pedal and used to go really, really, really fast. He knew all those scooters, and sometimes you'd be walking through town, you'd see some old biddy with a hat on and an umbrella, and she'd whip past you at about 40 miles an hour. He was so spiteful. Anyway, I'm going to go now, and hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. I won't leave it as long this time. If I do, it won't be... No, I've only ever had constipation that bad 3 times in my life. The Indian restaurant, this week, and one time when I lived in Cwmbran. So I don't think it's going to happen again. It's only because I took the codeine. But anyway, thanks for listening. Honestly, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you. I'll see you as soon as I can. Cheerio!